self-employed borrowers, if you're looking for a mortgage, you need to hear this. So self-employed is a little bit tricky, right? Most of the time you file what they call the Schedule C, or you have your own business income from, a 1065 or 1120, depending how you have your corporation or your business set up. Usually there's some write-offs involved in there. You pay a good CPA to make sure that you don't pay Uncle Sam extra money that you don't want to pay, right? There's a lot of expenses that go with owning a business. You might show that you make $1 million, but after everything's said and done, write-offs this and that, your CPA is making sure that you only pay taxes on what you actually made because you have expenses. Well, when it comes to mortgages, again, I tell this all the time. We're not the IRS police. We're not going to go and question what your write-offs are and tell the IRS, like, oh, he wrote off some expenses here and he really didn't do it. But we do have to follow what you file for your taxes, okay? So there's a lot of times that you say, I make $500,000 a year, but on paper you make 80. So we have to use that number of 80. Now there's a formula we can use to kind of give you back what they call add backs and help your income. But again, 9 times out of 10, we can only use that bottom line number. What happens if you don't make enough income or you don't show enough income on paper? Well, there's other loans out there specifically for you guys. We call them non-QM loans. QM stands for qualified mortgage. That's basically your standard Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, what they call full doc, meaning you're showing all your tax returns, we're using all your income, and we're qualifying off of that. However, again, this situation, you don't make enough money on paper to qualify for that house you want to buy, right? So we have a non-QM loan, which we can sometimes go off of your bank statements. What that means is personal or business bank statements. We look at 12 months or 24 and basically say, listen, on paper, you're showing 80 grand, but we really know you make more money than that. Your deposits are averaging 20 grand a month. So we're going to look at your deposits. Now there's a formula and a ratio on that. They don't give you all of it, but basically they say, hey, in this case, you average $20,000 of deposits a month. That's $240,000 a year. You get 50% of that. So it's $120,000 of income you qualify for. Now you're looking at something you're qualifying for that bigger home. There's programs out there for P&Ls where you have an audited P&L by a CPA, and he basically says, hey, listen, I know on his taxes say this, but this year, this is his expenses. This is what I'm showing, and he's making a lot more money, and we can use that. There's situations where we call asset depletion loans, where basically you don't show a lot of money, but you have a ton of money in the bank. So they say, okay, listen, this guy makes good money. He's got $3 or $4 million in the bank. We're going to give a portion of that and say that's going to be some income he can use. And guess what? Now you can qualify. So being self-employed sometimes is challenging, but you need to work with a good loan officer that understands taxes, understands how to read them and calculate them. And if not, explain these non-QM programs. Now be careful. These non-QMs, again, there's always a catch, right? They're not just going to give you these loans when they're more riskier without some kind of a catch, right? The catch is usually the down payment's got to be higher, anywhere from 10 to 20%, sometimes more, and the rate's always higher. So be careful. There's always a catch.